Dumb,
Cool,
and weird.
podcast. Yeah, I mean, my goal in the next 6 months is to try to get down to 10% body fat. And, I hired a trainer, my friend Chelsea, and she's going to help me. But it's going to be rough. I mean, I'm going to have to work really hard. And, I mean, I could still drink beer every once in a while, but I'm going to have to cut out a good bit of it,
Yeah. I've noticed that since I changed up my training routine and everything, I'm feeling bigger. Like, I'm not feeling like when I was, like, on that 4-month calisthenic kick.
I'll tell you this, at 32 years old, I feel way healthier than I did when I was like 23, 22 years old. When I was about 22, 23, I was pretty overweight at that point, and I've had anxiety attacks and panic attacks all the time, and my blood pressure was elevated and all that, and now my blood pressure is more regulated, and I feel a lot better than I did when I was around that time.
I felt like a lot of people in society let us get to that point though too, where instead of like telling us like, hey, you're overweight, like, I mean, you can hear the doctor say that you're overweight, but if you hear everyone else in your life constantly giving you this positive reinforcement, you're not going to believe that you're overweight.
Well, it's only recently that the body positivity movement is like started talking about men more, because usually at first it was about women being overweight or obese, and now they're starting to talk about men being obese, which I was very surprised by that, because it wasn't really talked about for the first couple of years. I didn't even know if they were even going to mention it at all, but it's very fascinating that they're just now starting to talk about that stuff. But the way that men and women view being fat or obese is very different. Men, typically what men will do is we will joke around with each other about us being fat or obese or overweight. And women typically don't do stuff like that. They typically get very self-conscious and upset about it. But men were just like, for instance, you could be sitting at the office or something, and Joe could walk in, and Steve could be sitting at his desk. Steve could be like having a beer gut going on, and he'd be like, "Oh, Steve, you look kind of fat there, buddy. What's going on, man?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I just put on a few pounds." It's like, "Yeah, man, you should probably work on that." And he's like, "Yeah, I probably should." And that's how guys interact with each other when we talk about each other being fat. That's usually how it goes every time.
It's like one of my buddies. We do this thing where every time one of us says, "Hey, feeling a little overweight," and he's like, "How about you quit being fat?"
Yeah, yeah. It's like men use humor to try to help each other with the obesity thing, but then women are a lot more direct and more serious about it.
But at the same time, they seem to also get pretty emotional about it too when you do mention it, because I've noticed when you mention like a guy, like if you're direct with a guy and you say, "Hey, bud, you're like 4 out of 5 people that I know who are fat."
Yeah.
It's like, you're that big. You need to go and do something about it.
Yeah, but you don't say that to a woman though.
No. But it's like if you were to just go up to a woman and say like, "Hey, you need to lose some weight," it's going to turn into a screaming match. Or like, even if you find a way to make it sound polite.
Well, now what's different now is a lot of people, like a lot of women, are trying to pull men into that body positivity thing now too. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they're probably not even going to be okay with you making fun of each other anymore. So men aren't. It's going to be like men can't joke about it anymore. With each other.
It's kind of just like looking for allies when you realize that nobody is taking your movement seriously. Even though the body positivity movement was hijacked by the obese people, when it was actually for people who were born without limbs,
I remember when
lost limbs, or are burn victims, like people who have experienced serious trauma in their life where they've actually lost parts of their body or like have had serious damage to their body. It wasn't meant for, "Oh, I can't stop eating, so you have to accept me."
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I was like, a lot of those people are people who served this country who lost their limbs in battle.
If you want to check out more of our stuff, go to www.dumbcoolweird.com. You'll find our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Patreon link if you want to support us. Also, be sure to check out our merch store. And if you're interested in being on our podcast, you can find a link on our website, so you can reach out to us and tell us if you want to talk to us about something that's really weird, dumb, or cool. We'd be glad to hear from you. Hope you will stay tuned for the next weird ass episodes we got. Thank you.